I guess I got to pull back. So I want to hurricane. So yeah, guys. So today I'm gonna tell you if you live in Texas or if you live in another place like Louisiana. This is a hurricane warning. And guys, and then two, this is the berry. So yeah, guys. So just let me tell you just for a warning.
Hurricane warning remains in effect for the northwest Oregon and Washington coast. Hurricane Sandy, a major and extremely deadly hurricane, is expected to make landfall in Tillamook, Oregon around 3:15 p.m. tomorrow afternoon. This superstorm is expected to be a Category 5 hurricane with winds up to 300 miles per hour. Evacuation orders are currently in effect for the following counties. In Oregon, western Clatsop and Tillamook counties. In Washington, western Clallam, Clark, Cowlitz, Grays Harbor, Jefferson, Pacific, and Waukegan counties. If you live in the listed areas and have not done so, evacuate now. Follow the most designated evacuation route set up by your local authorities. This hurricane will be extremely dangerous for if you do not leave, you will face certain death. All residents of Central Oregon and Washington are advised to remain in their homes, avoid traveling, and stay off the telephone and cell phones except for emergencies. Stay tuned to KYTE 102.7 or to other weather media outlets for further updates and information on this situation.
And guys, and now we're gonna see about some videos of the storm of Barry.
We begin with the central Gulf Coast bracing for potentially devastating flooding from what could become Hurricane Barry. Part of that storm system dumped up to 9 inches of rain in 3 hours on parts of New Orleans yesterday. Louisiana is already under a state of emergency. Hurricane watches are in effect along the coast. Up to 10,000 people have been ordered to evacuate.
This morning, severe weather watches stretch from Louisiana to Florida, and at the moment, Manuel Bojorquez is on a levee along the swollen Mississippi River in New Orleans. Manny, I guess the question on everyone's mind there is, are those levees expected to hold?
Well, they are, but they could overtop. That's the potential here. We're talking about possibly up to 18 inches of rain coming into Louisiana this weekend. You mentioned the already swollen Mississippi River behind me. That, combined with the storm surge, could send the river up to 20 feet this weekend. That's the same height as some of these levees that protect the city, which was already hit by flash flooding. Lines of powerful thunderstorms dumped up to 9 inches of torrential rains over New Orleans Wednesday in just 3 hours, turning the streets in Louisiana's biggest city into small rivers.
So I guess I should have went home.
Trapping some people inside flooded businesses and homes along the historic French Quarter. A possible tornado also touched down.
I heard a big explosion-like sound, and the whole bedroom was blown out, and my wife and dog were they were under the rubble, but they were fine.
This is crazy.
But the rain is the biggest worry going forward. This neighborhood is in one of the lowest points of New Orleans, which is below sea level, so people are used to some flooding here, but they say it's becoming more and more frequent, and they fear it's their new normal.
There's nowhere for it to go. And that's kind of the fear of living in the bowl that we live in.
Another major concern for many are the city's drainage pumps.
You can look around and see they got a little twisters here and there, but every now and then it stops twisting, so the pump's not really working that good.
Many of the levees got a $14 billion overhaul after Hurricane Katrina in 2005. But some have started to settle and may not provide the intended protection if water levels on the Mississippi River reach historic levels.
People need to keep constant vigilance as we move through the next few days to keep an idea of what's going on, and from there we can all stay safe.
The The Army Corps of Engineers says it is working to reinforce low-lying areas. The city says all but 2 of its drainage pumps are operational right now, but a large amount of rain in a short period of time can overwhelm any system. Michelle?
Manuel, looks like you're on the West Bank. Of all the years I lived there, 9 of them, never seen the levees that high.
And guys, so that you know, I live like in Louisiana. So yeah, guys. So and then because they have come into Louisiana, but guys, but I talk y'all about some things I know about hurricanes. So guys, so our house that we live in is like lifted. So it.
But first,
So it doesn't mean that this will get like flooded like others. But well, let's just see another video.
But first, we're pinpointing the latest on that tropical system forming in the Gulf. Meteorologist Candace Campos is in for Troy. Where is this thing headed, Candace?
Yeah, well, the good news is it's not heading towards Florida. It's actually heading away from the state. So here's the breakdown. As of now, the National Hurricane Center is giving it a 100% chance of developing later on today. So right now, hurricane hunters are heading out as we speak and could actually become a hurricane by this weekend. So because they are seeing a 100% chance of development, they do have a forecast cone out. This is what the hurricane hunters so far are tracking right now. Wind speeds about 68 miles per hour. They're not even in the center of it just yet. So we're going to continue to get data coming in over the next couple of hours as they try to find that center of circulation. So because they're pretty much guaranteeing this becoming our next named storm, they have now issued the first advisory. Is now called potential tropical cyclone number 2, just because they can't give it a name just yet because they don't have confirmation yet from the Hurricane Center. Right now, sustained winds of 30 miles per hour, and this is what the forecast cone shows. It looks like it will stay a low for a few days, making its way towards the west-northwest as a tropical storm, and some models even showing a Category 1 system as it makes its way on land somewhere between, let's say, central Texas and parts of Louisiana as a Category 1 by Sunday morning. Of course, this is something we're going to keep our eyes on. It's still very close to home, but the good news is all models are in agreement. It is heading towards the western Gulf of Mexico.
Yes, and guys, this video that I'm gonna see is from today, so let's watch it.
Well, I tell you what, we are waking up in Houston and in Texas with the best news, really. But I tell you what, really all Louisiana residents under a serious threat as we head to the upcoming weekend that did begin yesterday. All this tropical moisture from the, you could say, outer bands, even though this is not a tropical storm just yet, are starting to impact the entire Gulf Coast states here. It's really impressively a broad system at this point. So again, we're not dealing with a tight center of circulation, still fairly disorganized in length. And then we're going to continue to see this, though, gain intensity throughout the day. So watch what the National Hurricane Center has said. Basically, the entire state of Louisiana under the main threat, the main impacts here with direct landfall expected by Saturday. Notice how we stay on the west side, which is the dry side. But let me really detail out our rain chances. This is what I want you to take note of. So if you're waking up this morning, even though we are out of the cone of uncertainty, we are still tracking rain chances beginning today, lasting through Monday. This morning, 9:30, an isolated shower is possible, but we keep it mostly dry. Through the afternoon, just about the same. Now, after 5, 6 o'clock this evening, that is when the best chance for a few thunderstorms will start to fire up. So this is 6:30 on our future track. Notice how some of these showers will start to become a little bit more widespread, and they're all going to be wrapping around and trying to move southwest of us. That's because, again, counterclockwise circulation around this low. So here we're dealing with that potential tropical cyclone 2, which will be tropical storm Barry once they give this a name. Notice this is Friday, 6 o'clock, so we're dealing tomorrow evening. We're still only tracking about a 30% chance for a few showers here locally. All eyes will be on towards Louisiana. Notice how that starts to get a little bit tighter in circulation. This is now Saturday morning, 3:30, still offshore, not making landfall just yet, gaining intensity just before landfall. Expected Saturday evening, that's when we're expected to see a Cat 1 hurricane, again, just before landfall. So major impacts expected all across the Louisiana border. Here today, high temperatures go to 95. Rain chance really pops in after about 6 o'clock this evening. On your 7-day, I've kept our rain chances below 50%. even through Monday, Steph. It's more about the heat today, but all eyes will stay on the Gulf really through the upcoming weekend.
So yeah, guys. So I wanted to make sure, guys. So if you live like in Louisiana, yeah, please be safe. Because or still, if you live in the United States, so they have just to inform you about the weather, and we're gonna evacuate. And I will bring my microphone or not. I don't really think so. But bye.